Hey everybody, it's Qqcknd and welcome back to Tattoo Talk Tuesday, our weekly interactive Q&A where you submit tattoo questions to me and I lend my experience to you guys as a tattoo collector. My hair is in rollers right now. I am working on a special secret, not so secret project at this point, if you know what I'm talking about, and I need to have my hair really curly for later, so my hair has to set in these curlers. Don't mind me, but if you do want a tutorial, let me know. I asked you guys if you had any quick topics you wanted me to talk about this week on Tattoo Talk Tuesday, one where I can kind of keep my heart a little bit out of it, but honestly, watch this turn into a 20-minute video anyway. So, some of you guys have been asking me before and currently and in the past how I felt about these new temporary tattoos that are supposed to hit the market. And these are not your standard temporary tattoos with the water and the paper towel and the Pokemon images. These are temporary tattoos that are still given to you in the traditional sense with a needle and machine and a tattoo artist. But these tattoos are only supposed to last up to a year and can be removed with a dissolving agent versus laser removal. In my research about this, because I honestly always thought it was an urban legend, I have heard this for years and years about these tattoos that eventually disappear or temporary long-term tattoos. In my research, I found a website that has almost like henna style tattoos, but they are, you know, cool, trendy shapes and designs that are really current right now. And those tattoos last up to 2 weeks. At first I was like, 2 weeks, whatever. These are still temporary tattoos. I thought that was pretty interesting because I think that really hits the average consumer who wants to indulge in tattoo body modification culture. And even more light than that, a lot lighter, not even thinking about tattooed people, but these are people who want to decorate themselves in a style or believe tattoos are for fashion, and I think that those people can deserve to be accommodated. Go ahead. I know that these like silvery golden tattoos have been really popular with like the summer and going out and going to the club and going to the festival, and I saw a tattoo kit where you could have all of Beyonce's tattoos, but she doesn't have tattoos, so they were just like designed by her. Oh my god. Selena Gomez has one where you can have her tattoos. And I think these are great for, honestly, your average consumer who wants to dabble in the lifestyle but doesn't want anything to do with it. I don't think they're for people who can't commit to tattoos. I think they are for people who don't want tattoos at all. They don't want them. And I think that's great. Be a part of it. Wear me. Go ahead. Whatever. Ed Hardy shirts were cool 10 years ago. Now these silver tattoos are cool right now. It's just the next thing. However, this thing that I'm talking about, these temporary long-term tattoos are something completely different. So right now, obviously they're still being tested, but the idea of it is that these are smaller molecules are in the tattoo ink. So when it is given to you in the body, instead of the large molecules that the body cannot break down, and that's why our tattoos are permanent, our body is constantly trying to heal our tattoos, but they cannot. It's a really interesting concept. Definitely look it up one day. But our body is constantly trying to heal our tattoos, and it's just incapable. The ink is too large, and our body can't break it down. So the idea of this new ink is that it is a lot smaller, and our body can break it down over the course of a year, or with the dissolving agent. I don't know much more about it. It doesn't exist yet, but Spoiler alert, they are testing it on animals right now, so if you decide you're into it, they are testing it on animals who are alive and studying them to see how the tattoo does age over time, so I guess be mindful of that. I don't know. You know how I feel about that. But ultimately, how I feel is when I was doing the research on this tattoo ink, the same language was being used over and over and over again that was just cultivating this so stereotypical feeling. And all of the articles started off with tattoo regret. It's so common. Misspellings, different trends, bad artistry. No one would want a permanent tattoo in this day and age. And I think that clickbait, all of these people out here, older people, the people who are so quick to jump on you for being a millennial, I think these are the people who are creating this idea that we are so afraid of permanence and that we are afraid of getting a tattoo that we might regret. And honestly, I am a person who has bad tattoos, cheap tattoos, shitty tattoos, tattoos I've had removed, and I've never considered a tattoo that would fade over a year. And I'm a sensitive person, my skin is sensitive. If I sat through my back tattoo only to know that it would disappear after a year, I would feel, I don't know, I would feel really unaccomplished. And I think this would create a culture where people don't want to pay their tattoo artist as much because the ink is not forever. Because when I'm planning my tattoos, I think, well, I'm investing in something that will literally last forever. I think this will create a consumer who is like, well, since a tattoo will only last for a year, I only want to pay $50. But the application is still the same. It is still applied through skill. Like, you still have to be a tattoo artist completely and go through all of the workings of a normal tattoo. The only thing that is different is the ink. So you will still be paying for the artist's time, the artist's ability, the artist's expertise. So I think this will either create a new type of tattoo artist who specializes in these temporary tattoos, who maybe isn't as skilled and as experienced and blood-borne pathogen certified, or it's only going to devalue tattoo artists who already use tattooing to make a living and to express their craft. And I would hate to see any of that to be devalued by my favorite tattoo artists who I love to give hard-earned money to because they are hard earning it as well. So I think that this could be a bad thing for the industry. And I mean, I was also the first person to be like, Miami Ink is a bad thing for the industry. And then, you know, I could eat that show right up. But I still do think that this could create a hiccup in something that I really care about, and that is something that is marketed towards people who aren't like me, and who are people who are the dabbler and the temporary, and I'm worried about regret. But I think that all of that hyperbole comes from just like people generating fear for consumers and people who are trying to create these articles where you're like, I have experienced regret, and that sounds like me. But I think if you are considering a tattoo, there should be no reliance on the fact that the tattoo is temporary. But then again, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to wear a temporary tattoo for just like a festival for the night. I mean, I think that they're pretty and they're cute, and if someone gave me one, I would be excited. But I would be excited in a different sense, almost like, oh, I'm wearing makeup on my body, and not like, this is a temporary tattoo. But I don't think that temporary ink tattoos should be something that we let dominate the market and replace the norm. I mean, I think I'm someone who does consider how my body will change with age, but I also don't know if that's my own true thought. I don't know if that isn't someone whispering in my ear, like, aren't you worried about being old and tattooed? Aren't you worried? And I think those people whispering in my ear are the same people encouraging others to worry about permanence and worry about what we can't change. So honestly, I'm not really sure. I don't know where my bias begins and where my consumer driven sort of ideas begin. But I think that it's something people will want, and I think that that's great. But I also don't think I would ever get one. I mean, if you're paying full price and it hurts just the same, then why not get the tattoo? And it's like, oh, well, I just want trial. I just want to try out a tattoo. Well, maybe they're not for you. And I'm not trying to protect them. I don't think I own tattoos at all. And I'm never going to be the guy who says you have to earn your tattoos and you have to get a full sleeve before you can get a hand tattoo. I don't believe that at all. But I do think that temporary ink is marketed towards people who aren't tattooed people. They're marketed towards people who never wanted to get a tattoo in the first place. So those are my thoughts on temporary ink tattoos. Let me know what you think. I'm really afraid that I put a lot of my bias in here, and I don't mean any harm towards people who are like on the fence about getting a tattoo and think that this could be a great thing. But like I said, I am definitely worried about the future of tattooing if there are consumers out there who will start controlling the market who aren't really inclined to be tattooed. Just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up and keep Tattoo Talk Tuesday alive and well. Definitely stay tuned for and I love you guys so much. Subscribe and check me out next week. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Qqcknd and welcome back to another episode of Tattoo Talk Tuesday. Tattoo Talk Tuesday, if this is your first time watching, is our weekly tattoo